Leave your racing to the track if you can. Go to a track day. The Think message is slowly getting through to motorcyclists, but the local regionalised version of that is bike safe, and I'll give you more about that later on in the day, I'm sure. So then, under starters orders, Gareth Glynn on the pole. Who's it going to be first? On the Salvation Racing team, it is Gareth Glynn. On bike number 30, he made it on pole position, but very difficult to work out from that distance just who.
I think that's Richard Wren.
Yeah, looks like Richard Wren, 24, Richard Wren it is, that got the whole shot then off the line on the JB Riney. Richard Wren on the R6.
Richard Wren second at Alton Park at the last round, because we didn't go to Mandela with the R6 Cup, but at Alton Park he battled with Adam Jenkinson and finished second, so...
Good mention indeed. So then we go through Allard Corner. Sorry, we go through Seagrave onto Noble. I even lost myself on the track then for a moment. Noble Corner we're at the moment. Oh, there's one down. Oh dear me, bike number 5, that is Ben Castleton. So Ben Castleton is out of this race.
Number 9
as well is Patrick McDougall on the V&J Racing R6. So 2 men down at the complex. I think we might see a few more of them, Rod.
I thought like Mark Pollock, number 34 in front, I think.
It's
Mark Pollock. Richard Wren is 24.
34, you're right. Mark Pollock from 4th on the grid, so Mark Pollock getting a great start.
Followed by Adam Jenkinson from the 3rd row.
Yeah.
I spoke to some of the R6 Cup lads. I said, Adam Jenkinson qualified in the 3rd row. That made no difference whatsoever.
Straight through. Well, I was having a look. The lap record actually is Cal Crutchlow from last year at 122.7, and they only got down to 123.8, the pole man, in their qualifying session. So I think we've got a lot to see from these motorcycles yet, because the lap record for this class...
It's Daniel Bray that's in front. I apologise. Daniel Bray.
It is Daniel Bray.
6.
Now you're tripping over yourself, Neil. I'm glad you've got a sweat on the brow as well, haven't you now?
Adam Jenkinson's back in 9.
Yellow flag. This is at the complex, of course, where we saw those bikes down a little bit earlier on. Marshall's running for cover. They've recovered all of the debris. Daniel Bray, well, it's unusual that our one to watch is seriously one to watch. He's finished the highest he's finished on the leaderboard is 11th place in any R6 Cup race from last year to this. So
well, I ran round here with him last night, and he really has got a good understanding of the track, and he's been helped a lot by John Crockford.
Who is an absolute star around here.
Local rider here, John Crockford, good on super stock bikes, on super bikes. John Crockford, if anyone knows this track, he does, and he's topped Daniel Bray. He's done a good job with Daniel Bray.
Daniel Bray out front then. So it is Daniel Bray that leads. Nipper to his friends. And the reason he's called Nipper is because when he started racing, he started with a load of guys that were around him. They were a little bit older, and they used to say, quick Nipper, fetch my stand, Nipper, fetch my fuel. So he's now known as Nipper.
There goes
and he's
Mark
just been
back to the front.
Back in front.
Oh, someone down.
Yeah, well, you might expect a bit of that at the club chicane in the last of the late break-ins. He's into the bales at the club chicane. If he's going to stay there for too long, we might well see a red flag, but we'll wait and see. No, he's perfectly okay. So up and on his feet. I'm just trying to work out. That's John Boy Lee, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it is John Boy Lee. Let's take another look at it. Under braking, wait for the front end to slide out.
He's clipped someone at the back there.
I'll tell you what, it's a long way back under braking to have lost that. Oh, that's an expensive one, Rob Mack. Why is it I always smile? That was his bike that was in the bales, not John Boy himself. I thought John Boy had gone under there, that's why he wasn't moving. Ollie Bridewell with the fastest lap, 123.987. That compares with 122.7. That is the lap record for this racetrack at the moment. I think they've been a bit lucky this year with the weather. It's quite warm, but thankfully the sun's not out too bright, because this place is absolutely cooking every time the sun comes out, and that's going to make these things slither all over the racetrack on standard tyres.
Certainly does. They're on D28 Dunlop RR standard tyres, standard road bike tyres on here.
Which are great on the road, but when they're hammered for 12 whole laps around the track as abrasive and as fast as Thruxton, that puts any tyre, no matter how good it is.
Absolutely. And on the right-hand side, pretty much all the way around here, it's right-hand track, obviously, and really hard on the right-hand side of the tyre.
How long's your pockets, Mackenzie?
Adam Jenkinson.
Good man. Straight in there. No sitting on the fence now, is there?
Well, it's fairly boring.
As soon as I nominated him as our one to watch, I'm going to go with Daniel Bray, because I think he's doing a sterling job where he is at the moment. He's right in there with the hunt at the front, and he's going to be learning stuff every single lap we cover here. Mind you, that's not discounting Mark Pollock on bike 34, who's leading at the moment. Oh, up the inside, it was a bit of a manoeuvre coming that way then. Dear me, this complex area, really, for the inexperienced, it might look like an easy place to make an easy pass, but it never is it?
It's very easy to make a mistake.
Indeed. my point exactly. There is our one to watch. Number 6, it is Daniel Bray on the KGT Superbikes sponsored R6.
That's a big gap in R6 terms that Mark Pollock's got at the front there.
I'll tell you what though, Daniel Bray just made a lovely little move as they get out onto the fast part of the track at Seagrave, around the outside. So Daniel Bray has moved up into second place, if my eyesight's not deceiving me.
It's a great thing about this Thruxton circuit. It's so wide, you can have so many different lines.
Yeah, but you've got to have the fast one and the right one, haven't you? And I have to say, what you were saying a bit earlier on about Daniel Bray, good understanding of this racetrack. Good. I think that's great terminology, because you need an understanding of a racetrack this wide. Oh, dear me, don't know where the brakes are though. Maybe he does. Daniel Bray then, great pass, up underneath, pulls it back down, leaves no gap at all. Then he's got a great line through the chicane. I'll tell you what, that was class.
He came from a long way back there, obviously very confident into the club chicane, and that's where it matters on the last lap, as we know.
Well, I mean, he came from so far back, I thought he was going to go straight on when he got to the turn, but he turned it in and pulled it down to the apex perfectly well. Take another look at it. Look how far back he came from.
Long way back, down the inside.
Judged.
A little bit wide there, but turned it in nicely, clipped the first apex, slow into the second left apex.
Well, Daniel Bray, nipper, 22 years old, fastest lap. Daniel Bray, 122.948, so he's just outside of Cal Crutchow's lap record. It's all getting a bit messy out there for second, third and fourth places at the moment. Making a hell of a lot of moves at the moment is... I'm just trying to make my mind up who that is. Is it 46, Ollie Bridewell?
Well, got Bridewell
I'm sure it's 46, Ollie Bridewell on the yellow helmet that's making up all the moves at the minute.
Richard Wren, number 24.
Has gone back to fourth now. I think it's Ollie Bridewell that's on the move. I'm sure we're going to see a fastest lap from him in a moment, because he's looking so good. There in your picture, 46, it is Oliver Bridewell. Third place now. Bridewell's come from a long, long way back. He's been making slow but sure progress. Oh, he's going to be duffed up though in the club chicane, unless he's going to ride around the outside. Yeah,
number 24. I did a feature with Richard Wren at Donington a couple of weeks ago for Two Wheels Only magazine. We were out there and I was riding the standard R6, and he was riding his R6 Cup bike, and it really was good, because it's the first time I've been on track with any of these guys, and he was so smooth, knew the track really well. I was really impressed.
Okay, Mackenzie, just tell me, you're like one of these major shareholders that we hear that have about 10 jobs. How many jobs do you actually have?
Where do you want to start? How much time have you got?
I'll tell you what, Jam must be very expensive.
Tomorrow I'll be working mainly for Two Wheels Only magazine again.
Yeah, that's 2 plugs in one commentary. Dear me, they'll be paying you all right. Oliver Bridewell still in fourth place, but leading is Daniel Bray, our one to watch, followed by number 30. That is, of course, Gareth Glynn, the pole sitter here in this race today. But the pace is considerably faster than it was in qualifying. Of course, these guys don't actually get out on track until Saturday. They don't have any privileges on Friday, so they actually have very little time indeed on the racetrack with these motorcycles. So that's why I think we see it every round, pole at one time, but of course it's nowhere near reality as far as we're concerned, because they get better and better through the race.
You're dead right, Keith, and I would say half of these guys haven't been here before, so they really have a very limited amount of time to get to grips with this circuit, and it's not the easiest circuit to learn.
I think it's actually wrong to have a British Championship at a track that you can't test at least once in the year for all the major teams.
Richard Wren at the front now.
Only just though, and Daniel Bray eases over neatly, but I think that's good for Daniel Bray that he's got someone of Richard Wren's calibre. I mean, Richard Wren new in the series this year, but very, very good quality rider. Giving Daniel Bray somebody to aim at, because you can run a bit out of steam at the front if you're not used to riding at the front. And remember, I reiterate, Daniel Bray, our one to watch, has not been higher than 11th place in the 2 years that he's done this R6 Cup race meeting. So it's he's riding out of his socks here at Thruxton, and he's under a lot of pressure.
It certainly is, and this is up to club chicane. Actually, where Daniel Bray was stronger in early laps, but Richard Wren's been sussing him out, number 24 there, second place finisher at home track. Nice clean move, got past Daniel, and now he's got a gap at the front.
Yeah, he has, and that looks like a good gap as well. Let's take a look at it. Bray still had the fastest lap, 122.9, but 122.986, so just a little bit quicker was this man here, Richard Wren, on that last lap.
Richard Wren is effectively in second place in the championship. Kyle Bryce is actually second, but taking no part in this championship now. Adam Jenkinson first on 75 points, Richard Wren second on 56.
Adam Jenkinson down in 8th place, your series leader, so watch out for number 11. Adam Jenkinson's a long way down this order at the moment, but look at that. I'll tell you, 8th place isn't so far away from the front when you look at it like that.
It isn't. I mean, you can just never write off Adam Jenkinson. Down the outside.
Round the outside, we saw it. Sir John Reynolds manoeuvre in the British Superbikes. That was lovely. I do love to see that move properly done. So 30 goes back behind Gareth Glynn. You remember, he was the pole sitter. Slides back behind Ollie Bridewell. Whoa, I tell you what, it's all getting a bit frantic up front, isn't it? Still it is. Wren that leads from number 6, Daniel Bray, from Ollie Bridewell, from Glynn in 4th place. But watch out for 11, because I think Neil was trying to get in there.
Yes, for the last 4 laps, Jenkinson's been in 8th position as we see Oliver Bridewell going around the outside there into the chicane.
It's an amazing entry to a corner, that one. It just doesn't seem, providing you've got the pace, you seem to be able to turn it in. I always love that corner.
And it doesn't look possible from where we're sitting.
Oh, down on the ground is Connor Cummings. He was our one to watch back at Snetterton. So Connor Cummings is a big lad, and he needed to be. They are stock motorcycles, remember, so they are quite heavy when they're laying on their side. So Connor Cummings down in the dirt, number 3. Connor Cummings is out.
Yeah, Jenkinson, he's for the last 4 laps been sitting in 8th position, and now he's suddenly jumped up to 7th, and I wonder if it's time for him to pull the pin and start to move forward. Keep your eye on him.
Well, of course, here at Brooklands there's a big slipstream effect, even from these road bikes, because you're actually flat out for quite a long time, having exited Church Corner. So if you got your exit good, you might have a bit of momentum down into this braking area where they are at the moment. Daniel Bray, I am really, really impressed with Daniel Bray, the way he's managed to put Thruxton together so well. Still leading, Richard Wren. Richard Wren, well, the best race he had so far this year was the last one, which was Alton Park. 20 points he scored there. 3rd place at Brands Hatch in round 2. So Richard Wren has shown promise before.
Jenkinson 6th.
Oh, who was that? Ollie Bridewell, who just stuffed it under Daniel Bray. So Ollie Bridewell goes 2nd. Daniel Bray drops to 3rd place, and he is going to get mired in the massive bundle that is that 2nd place scrap soon, because 30, Gareth Glynn is looking for a way back if he can. Gareth Glynn was the pole sitter on the Salvation Racing Team R6. Church Corner, 110 miles an hour through Church Corner. 128 mile an hour approaching Church Corner. There it is, 128 miles an hour on your way, 130 mile an hour for Bridewell. Looking down your list, they are not top speeds, I can tell you. They are just the run into that Church Corner. These are where the top speeds are, especially if you get a big toe.
Yeah, it certainly makes a difference, and I know a lot of the guys in qualifying were looking for a slipstream just to help the lap time, because you can gain half a second if you get a slipstream up to the club chicane.
Through the club chicane, onto the front straight. I call it a straight, it isn't, of course. Allard Corner is this right-hander. Then it's an over-the-hill left-hand kick. Lovely piece of track this. It's flat out, absolutely wonderful. Over the hill now, and then down to the Campbell Cobb complex, where you often see so much aggravation, especially with these type of bikes.
Well, I think this is the longest we've seen a rider in front, number 24,
yeah.
Richard Wren. He led at Alton Park, he did quite a lot of leading at Alton Park, and then he was finally mugged by Adam Jenkinson in this penultimate lap.
Out of Seagrave, the right-hander. Now we come to Noble, which is the first of the left-handers, the last of the left-handers, I should say. And then it's the long, long, long right at Goodwood, powering up through Village Corner, running on along what isn't a straight, but this long curve at Village Corner comes to Church, which is a scary right-hander with a bump in the middle of it by the Marshalls Post. You can see the Marshalls Post just to the right of your picture. And then it's a long blast down Brooklands. And then the uphill, very slight uphill drag there, Woodham Hill to the club chicane. And the, well, desperado braking department, in my view. And there was just one room, was there? Ollie Bridewell, he was quite lucky there. He got a bit of the road blocked. Yeah, Daniel Bray still in 3rd place on bike 6. Still leading is Richard Wren on 24. Still Daniel Bray. No, it's not Bridewell, sorry, in 2nd place. Daniel Bray in 3rd place. Being chased hard by Gareth Glynn. Behind him, 34, is Mark Pollock. That camera angle just shows you how many lines there are. Fastest lap 122.9, so just 0.2 of a second outside of Cal Crutchlow's last year's lap record. Oh dear me, push shove, push shove, push shove. I reckon we're going to have a new lap record in this, the way the pace is actually hotting up. We are on lap 11 of 12 though, but it's going to take everything to catch Richard Wren out front at the moment. Richard Wren, then it is. It looks like he's going to do the business here. Richard Wren currently on 56 points. This will move him clearly into second place. 25.70.
Richard Wren, these guys are, well, a lot of these guys on a tight budget. Talking to Richard Wren, he only just made the last payment just after Oak Park to see him into the second third of the championship. He was short of about 10 quid, and Rob Mack says, go on then, I'll take what you've got.
I'm amazed. Solding up into the club.
He said he got to the point where his dad sold his car. His dad had a car worth 1,000 quid and sold that just to try and get to the next round of the championship. Incredible.
Good move there from Gareth Glynn. Gareth Glynn then is getting himself up the leaderboard nicely now. Gareth Glynn has shot into second place on bike number 30 here. Gareth Glynn it is that's up the inside of Oliver Bridewell to take that second place. Oliver Bridewell on bike number 46 goes back into third place now, but no doubt about the leader on the last lap, barring back markers and mistakes. Richard Wren is going to take this win. Richard Wren, he has not won one of these races this year. This is his first year in the R6 Cup, so therefore this will be his first ever win in the Virgin Mobile Yamaha R6 Cup round. And I have to say that when I first started doing this series at the beginning of this year, the marshals that I spoke to at Silverstone told me Richard Wren was a young man to watch out for. And, well, I never argue with marshals. They do all the club events, all the national events. They really do it at the grassroots. They've seen these young men coming up through those grassroots. And they said Richard Wren was a young man to watch. And I think that has just come to fruition, because barring a massive mistake at the club chicane, which I'm sure he will not make, he is going to take this win in emphatic style. Number 19, Michael Niblett on the Rex Judd Racing R6 Yamaha is a faller at Campbell. And really, that is it's a quick old corner on the way into the complex. So Michael Niblett with that injured right ankle is still in trouble, but no trouble at all for Richard Wren as he comes to the line to win his first ever Yamaha R6 Cup race. And what a fine win it was as well. The pole sitter, Gareth Glynn, comes in second place. Oliver Bridewell on bike 46 comes up from the second row of the grid to take the last podium position that we've just seen the race for. It is Richard Wren. What a win. He's his first ever win in the R6 Cup from Gareth Glynn. Great ride from him too into second place. Two names that we're going to have to watch in the future there for sure. Ollie Bridewell, likewise for him. Daniel Bray was in fact our one to watch. He finishes in fourth place. James Hillier, Mark Pollock, Adam Jenkinson, the series leader, only can finish in seventh championship standing. Still Adam Jenkinson in the lead, but only by 3 points now from Richard Wren. Carl Bryce is out of the series. He's gone to the Superbike, so James Hillier effectively is third. Ollie Bridewell is in fifth place. In fact, he'll be fourth place because Carl Bryce doesn't really count. Gareth Glynn, John Boy Lee and Connor Cummins. That's your